Now I want to go to the next trend. And this is something that is, of course, nothing new for most people in IT. But especially now with the changing markets, and we see markets change everywhere, like especially last year it started, but this year many companies are looking at gaining more efficiencies and also really make sure that they are reducing their logins, because some of their strategic decisions didn't really pay off. And Gaurav mentioned it in the beginning that we have some major vendors pulling back from IoT and have their customers basically standing in the rain. And one of the key things is we have for years now is a multi-cloud strategy. And many companies these days have that. So most Fortune 500 companies we work with are very heavy into multi-cloud because their vendor login is real and businesses really feel the pain of that. And we really see a maturity here also in the market, and also more appetite for multi-cloud strategies. And here we have a quick chart from the Flexera 2022 State of the Cloud report. And we also see here that, that there is a lot of reasons why multi-cloud architectures are really state of the art. So, for example, what we also see a lot is starting from cloud brokering to intelligent workload placements, and you see all the other things in the slide here. This is really a key thing. So this is what we see with many of our customers when they have mature use cases. So they use a cloud-native MQTT broker or a platform. In our case, of course, it's the HiveMQ platform that allows to connect even more than 100 million devices to the same installation to the cloud, usually running either on cloud-native technologies like Kubernetes, sometimes in on-premises data centers, but also these days very often either on AWS, Microsoft Azure, sometimes also Google or other platforms. And they use it to connect their devices in a completely open and standardized way. So they use the open MQTT protocol. And then but the thing is, you need to make use of some of the data. So you need to move the data where it should be. And this is why at the same installation can bridge basically to different services on AWS, on Google, on Microsoft Azure, and so on, and then bring it, for example, into data lakes, into machine learning applications, to microservices, or whatever is required by the use case. And what is the great thing about this is, so we have the strong belief that as soon as the use case evolves, one should not change the devices. This means a firmware update is also these days sometimes very hard to do, especially if you want to patch your whole fleet of devices. And so key is really that all the changes, for example, a new use case arises, a new machine learning application should be used, that you change the data streams basically in the cloud, move it where it needs to be without changing basically your interface to your devices, what we see here on the left. And this is really key. And this is something we see many of our customers who have adopted a multi-cloud strategy use. So they can use the HiveMQ platform on one or multiple of the clouds of choice and then bridge the data or move the data where it needs to be. And this in a bidirectional way, not only from device to service, but also from the services back to the device.